Step aside, this table's for people who actually belong here. The hostess didn't even look up when she said it. Amara froze, reservation in hand, dignity on the line, while laughter rippled from the VIP booth behind her. No one knew they were laughing at the woman who owned the skyline outside those windows. It was Friday night at Meridian Sky, the kind of restaurant where the glassware sparkled like crystal stars, and the city below seemed to breathe luxury. The hum of conversation filled the air, cut through occasionally by the soft pop of a champagne cork. Amara Johnson, dressed in a simple gray sweater and dark jeans, stepped up to the hostess stand, calm but excited. She'd made this reservation 2 weeks ago, a quiet dinner to celebrate closing the biggest deal of her career. For once, she wanted to enjoy something personal. No corporate gala, no press, no expectations. Just peace. But as soon as she gave her name, the hostess's smile faltered. I'm sorry, Miss Johnson, she said slowly. It looks like your table was already taken. Amara blinked. Taken? I have a confirmed reservation. VIP Table 7, under AJ Holdings. The hostess shifted uncomfortably, glancing toward the back of the room. There, sprawled across the plush leather booth under the skyline window, sat a couple who looked like they'd stepped off the cover of a lifestyle magazine. Bradley and Jessica Collins. Their laughter echoed as they clinked glasses of rosé. Jessica caught Amara's glance and smirked. "Oh, honey," she called across the room. "Maybe check the cafe down the street." "This spot's for members only." Her words hit the room like a spark. A few diners chuckled. Someone whispered. Even the hostess didn't correct her. Instead, she nodded slightly, an unspoken message. "Please don't make a scene." Amara's pulse quickened, but her expression stayed calm. She'd been here before, not in this restaurant, but in this moment. That quiet, polite humiliation that comes with being judged before you speak. She took a breath, her voice steady. "I think there's been a misunderstanding. I made this reservation weeks ago. VIP 7, 9 p.m. Jessica laughed, twirling her wine glass. "Cute. You must be new to this side of town. Maybe they let you book it by accident." Bradley reached over, pretending to read the reservation on Amara's phone, then snatched it and tossed it onto the marble floor. "You people always think you're owed something," he said under his breath. The phone cracked against the tile. The sound sliced through the air, silencing the room. For a second, even the music stopped mattering. "Before we continue, tell me something, friends. From which country are you watching right now? And what time is it there? I love seeing how far our stories travel. And if you enjoy stories that reveal the truth behind appearances, please take a second to subscribe. It means a lot and helps us keep telling more powerful stories like this one." Amara bent down and picked up her phone. The screen spiderwebbed but still glowing faintly. She didn't say a word. "She didn't need to. I made the reservation under AJ Holdings," she said, her tone controlled, eyes fixed on the hostess. Jessica raised an eyebrow, smirking. "What's that? A cleaning company?" More laughter. More stares. Amara's heart thudded, but her face stayed still, unreadable, unshaken. She straightened up slowly, her voice barely above a whisper. "Would you please get your manager?" The hostess hesitated, glancing toward the bar. And that's when the manager appeared, tablet in hand, looking confused. "Is there a problem here?" he asked. Before Amara could answer, Bradley cut in. "No problem. Just someone trying to sit where they don't belong." The manager looked at Amara's reservation email, then froze. His eyes darted to the screen, then to her, then back again. "Wait," he said slowly. "AJ Holdings?" The tension in the room thickened. Jessica's smirk faltered for the first time. The manager's tone shifted completely. "Ma'am, could you please wait just a moment?" Amara didn't respond. She just folded her arms, her calm expression the only thing more powerful than the silence spreading across the floor. The restaurant's air felt heavier now, like everyone was holding a collective breath. Forks hovered halfway to mouths. Even the soft jazz from the corner pianist stumbled on a wrong note before fading out. Amara stood quietly while the manager scrolled through his tablet, eyes widening as each second passed. He whispered something to the hostess, and her face turned pale. But before he could speak, Jessica's sharp laugh cut through the silence. "Oh, please," she said, lifting her glass. "Don't tell me you're actually entertaining this little drama. We're the ones sitting here, aren't we?" Bradley leaned back in the booth, smug. "Yeah, she's wasting everyone's time." The hostess tried to interrupt, but Jessica talked right over her. "You can't just walk into a five-star restaurant dressed like that and expect red carpet treatment." "Maybe she misread the address?" the crowd murmured. A few phones were already recording. Amara caught a glimpse of her reflection in a polished wine bottle. Calm eyes, shoulders square, posture steady. She wouldn't let them take that from her. "Ma'am," the manager said finally, voice tight. "Please, allow me one moment to verify the reservation properly." Jessica rolled her eyes. Unbelievable. Maybe next she'll claim she owns the place. The jab hit harder than Jessica realized. Amara's lips curved into the faintest smile, almost invisible, but it was there. She'd heard that line before. It always came right before the truth surfaced. The security guard, a tall man in a black uniform, approached carefully. "Everything all right here?" he asked the manager, but his gaze flicked toward Amara, waiting for a cue. Jessica jumped in first. "Yes, officer, everything's fine. She just got a little confused about where she's supposed to sit." Confused. The word stung more than the laughter. Amara met his eyes. "Actually," she said softly, "there's no confusion at all." The manager's tablet beeped, a soft tone that might as well have been a gunshot. His expression shifted from doubt to panic. He looked up at Amara as if seeing her for the first time. "Miss Johnson," he stammered. "AJ Holdings." "That's you?" A stunned silence swept the room. Jessica froze, the smirk draining from her face. Bradley straightened in his seat. And Amara, calm as ever, replied, "Why don't you tell everyone what that means?" The room went utterly silent. Even the sound of glasses clinking stopped. The manager's throat bobbed as he reread the name glowing on his tablet screen. AJ Holdings. He blinked, glancing up at Amara, then back down again, as if the letters might rearrange themselves into something else. But they didn't. The truth was right there. The hostess leaned closer. "Wait, AJ Holdings?" she whispered. "That's—" Amara's eyes didn't leave the couple sitting smugly in her reserved booth. Her tone was calm, almost gentle. "Yes. Why don't you tell them what that means?" The manager's hands trembled slightly as he turned the screen toward his staff. "AJ Holdings is the parent company that owns Meridian Sky." His voice cracked halfway through the sentence. "This restaurant, the one we're standing in." For a moment, no one breathed. Then came the collective gasp. Quiet, scattered, disbelieving. Diners looked from Amara to the couple, then back again, trying to make sense of what they'd just heard. Jessica blinked rapidly, her earlier confidence evaporating. That can't be right," she said, her laugh suddenly fragile. "She's joking, right?" Bradley leaned forward, voice low but shaking. "You're saying she owns this place?" The manager nodded stiffly. "Yes, sir, Ms. Amara Johnson, CEO of AJ Holdings. The reason this restaurant exists?" A new silence fell, heavier than before. Even the city lights beyond the glass seemed to fade under the weight of it. Amara finally stepped forward. The sound of her heels on marble echoed like a slow drum beat. Every head in the room turned to follow her. Jessica opened her mouth, maybe to apologize, maybe to defend herself, but no words came out. Her hand trembled around her wine glass, the liquid inside rippling like a nervous heartbeat. Amara stopped beside their table and looked down at the cracked phone in her hand, the one Bradley had thrown moments earlier. "You know," she said softly, "I came here tonight to celebrate something." A milestone, her eyes lifted, steady and unflinching. "But maybe this is what I was meant to see instead." Bradley's voice faltered. "Listen, we didn't mean—" Jessica cut him off, still trying to recover her composure. "You can't just walk in dressed like—" She stopped herself. The words died on her tongue. Amara raised an eyebrow, her expression unreadable. "Like what?" Jessica's gaze fell to the tablecloth. "Like nothing. I just—" The security guard shifted awkwardly beside them, realizing who he'd almost escorted out moments earlier. The staff stood frozen. The hostess looked ready to cry. Amara turned toward the manager. "Please," she said evenly, "don't blame your team. They followed what they thought was right. It's what they've been taught to see." Then she faced Jessica and Bradley again. "And what you just showed me," she continued, "is exactly why people like me build their own tables. Because we're tired of asking for seats." The crowd stayed silent, spellbound, and then slowly Amara smiled. "Enjoy your dinner," she said softly. "It's on the house. Technically, it always was." For a heartbeat, no one moved. The truth hung in the air like a thundercloud, heavy, crackling, impossible to ignore. Amara Johnson, the woman they had dismissed moments ago, was the reason every light in this glittering restaurant was still burning. The manager's voice finally broke the stillness. "Miss Johnson, I had no idea. Please forgive us." His apology wavered between guilt and awe. Amara gave a small nod. "You don't owe me apologies," she said. "But maybe you owe yourself a moment to think about why you didn't see me until now." The words landed softly, yet they shook everyone in the room. Jessica's chair scraped against the marble as she rose to her feet. The confidence she wore earlier had drained from her face, leaving only shock. I didn't know," she whispered. "I just thought that I didn't belong." Amara finished for her, not unkindly. Jessica's lips parted, but no answer came. Bradley shifted beside her, staring into his untouched drink. The diners who had watched the drama unfold looked away, embarrassed. Phones slipped quietly back into purses. Someone at the bar murmured, "She owns it?" And the whisper rippled through the room like a wave retreating from shore. The security guard cleared his throat. "Ma'am, are you all right?" Amara turned to him, offering a calm smile. "I'm fine." "You were doing your job. Thank you for checking." Her grace only deepened the silence. The manager tried again, stumbling over his words. "If you'd like, we can prepare another table, or perhaps the private suite upstairs." Amara shook her head. "No need. They can keep this one." She glanced toward the couple who stood frozen in disbelief. "You wanted this table so badly," she said evenly. "Consider it a gift. But remember, every plate, every glass, every view from this window exists because someone you dismissed made it possible." Her voice wasn't loud, but it carried to the farthest corner of the room. The hostess bit her lip, tears forming. Amara's tone softened when she turned to her. "I know you didn't mean harm," she said, "but intention doesn't erase impact. You'll remember that next time someone walks in who doesn't fit the picture in your head." The young woman nodded, eyes glistening. A waiter near the bar began to clap, hesitant, almost afraid. Another joined, then a few more. Within seconds, the quiet restaurant filled with the sound of hands meeting in reluctant admiration. Amara lifted her palm slightly, asking them to stop. "This isn't about applause," she said. "It's about awareness." The clapping faded. She turned to the manager once more. "There's a leadership meeting on Monday, isn't there? Add something to the agenda, training on how bias shows up in service." "I'll send materials tomorrow." The manager nodded quickly, grateful for a task he could actually perform. Her assistant entered from the elevator, confusion flashing across his face as he spotted her in the crowd. "Ms. Johnson, I came as soon as I heard. Are you okay?" Amara smiled faintly. "Better than okay." He stepped aside as she headed for the door, the crowd parting like a tide. Jessica and Bradley didn't move or speak. They just watched her go, the glow from the city lights painting reflections of everything they had misjudged. At the doorway, Amara paused and looked back, not in triumph, but in quiet certainty. "I built this place," she said softly, "so that everyone could feel welcome. Let's make sure it finally lives up to that." Then she left, her heels clicking in slow, steady rhythm across the marble floor. Behind her, Meridian sky remained utterly silent. Every soul in that room left to confront the uncomfortable truth of what they had just witnessed. Outside, the city glowed like a field of stars scattered beneath her heels. Amara inhaled the night air, letting the tension dissolve with every breath. Behind her, the glass facade of Meridian sky reflected 100 versions of the moment that had just passed. A single evening that had peeled back the layers of status, bias, and pride. Her assistant opened the car door. "Should I cancel the rest of the night, ma'am?" Amara shook her head. "No, we don't cancel progress," she smiled faintly. "Let's get coffee instead. Somewhere ordinary." As the car pulled away, she glanced through the window at the skyline she had once only dreamed of touching. Her voice was quiet but sure. "Respect isn't something you demand," she said, half to herself. "It's something you live until the world has no choice but to see it." Inside the restaurant, the staff gathered after she left. The hostess wiped her eyes. The manager stood rigid with remorse. Even Jessica sat motionless, replaying every word Amara had spoken. For the first time that night, she wasn't thinking about exclusivity or appearances, only about what it meant to truly see another person. By morning, clips of the confrontation would spread across social media. The headlines would read, "Woman denied seat in her own restaurant teaches a city a lesson in grace." But for Amara, the story wasn't about going viral. It was about building a world where stories like hers wouldn't need to be told again. Weeks later, Meridian Sky launched its new initiative, Equal Service, Equal Respect. Training sessions replaced old habits. New hires learned to serve without judgment. Every employee's nameplate now bore a single line beneath it. "We belong here. Together." Amara returned one evening, quietly taking a corner seat. The same hostess approached, smiling genuinely this time. "Welcome back, Miss Johnson. Your table's ready." Amara smiled, warmth in her eyes. "Thank you. It's ready for all of us now." If this story moved you, take a moment to think about how often first impressions hide the truth. Tell me in the comments, from which country are you watching, and what lesson did this story leave you with? And if you believe dignity should never depend on appearance, tap subscribe and help more people see stories that remind us of the power of respect.